A woman who was visiting a client for an in-home nail appointment during lockdown in South Carolina was attacked and killed by an alligator in South Carolina, according to a police report released Tuesday. Cynthia Cover, 58, drowned Friday after an alligator repeatedly pulled her into a pond on Kure Island, according to a report from the Charleston County Sheriff's Office. Her death has been ruled an accident, according to paralegal and public information officer Carly Maratia. This unfortunate tragedy reminds citizens to be alert and cautious around our low-boundary wildlife, Maratia said. The sheriff's office urges the public to enjoy the outdoors safely and responsibly. Barbara Howell said Covert came to her home to do her nails with a glass of wine and was acting strange, according to the narrative report. Although Governor Henry McMaster lifted a mandatory stay-home order May 4, South Carolina's beauty salons must remain closed for now. Covert saw the alligator when she was doing Howell's nails on the porch, and when she was finished, she left the porch to take pictures. Howell said she screamed to Covert that the alligator had grabbed a deer from that spot, and Covert replied, "I don't look like a deer," and tried to touch the animal. The alligator grabbed Covert by the leg and started to pull her into the water. Howell's husband, William, told police he heard his wife yelling, went to the porch, and ran down the steps as the gator lunged at Covert. Howell said he and a neighbor, Michael Clausen, threw a rope to Covert and she grabbed it while standing waist-deep in the water. "I guess I won't do this again," Covert said, in a very calm voice, according to the witness. As the pair tried to pull her from the water, the alligator started to roll and Covert lost her grip on the rope. Clausen told police the alligator took her underwater and she released the rope. When sheriff's deputies and the fire department arrived, they saw no movement on the pond, according to the report. 10 or 15 minutes later, Covert's body surfaced. The alligator pulled her back underwater, but resurfaced a few moments later and an officer was able to shoot it. Police retrieved the body, which had severe wounds to the left leg. Covert was the third person killed by an alligator in South Carolina in the past 4 years. Before those attacks, South Carolina had never recorded a person killed by an alligator. When Tina Yates pulled her truck up to a mall in western Washington state on Thursday, workers waved her past hundreds of cars waiting to pick up free russet potatoes. "You get a VIP pass." Yates, a bus driver in her 50s, said the workers hollered, as she loaded 1,800 pounds, 816 kilograms, of potatoes into her gray Chevy Silverado, bound for the Salvation Army, local food banks and homes throughout western Washington. Giving away food is just one example of how people around the world are adjusting to the strain the coronavirus pandemic has put on supply chains, as restaurants, schools and hotels close. With unemployment soaring, demand from food banks is rising fast at the same time farmers have fewer outlets to sell their crops. In Washington, the number 2 U.S. potato-growing state after Idaho, 1 billion pounds of russet potatoes, normally processed into French fries and hash browns, are sitting in warehouses that would typically be emptying ahead of the July harvest, the Washington State Potato Commission said. Instead, the organization is handing out the surplus for free in brown sacks, 100,000 pounds at a time. Everyone in Washington would have to eat about 500 pounds of potatoes from now until the 4th of July to clear out that pipeline, said Brandy Tucker, the commission's director of marketing. Around 90% of Washington potatoes are processed for food service, nearly half for international markets. Potato producers in Europe have also faced enormous surpluses. The Commission is planning more than a dozen donation events by the end of May. But even giving away potatoes comes with the cost of washing, bagging and shipping. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is attempting to chip away at the mountain of produce unable to get to consumers. This week it said it would buy an additional $470 million in food, including $50 million in potatoes to give to food banks. Farmers such as Adam Weber, a third-generation grower at Weber Farms in Quincy, Washington, say it is better to give away potatoes than dump them. If the price is well below what it costs to grow them, do you just sit on them for a while and hope things turn around? or just go from $200 down to $30 per ton. That's how drastic the price has changed, he said. Weber said he will plant 1,000 fewer acres on his 6,500-acre farm this year because of lower demand from processing companies. Some cancelled entire contracts, according to Tucker from the Potato Commission. They, potato growers, are going to be holding the bag, said Weber.